Welcome back. This is Family Time 165. We're transitioning into our relationship skills, social emotional learning competency. Relationship skills are extremely important. So far as I'm concerned, if you really focused on developing 3 areas of yourself while you're in school, you'll find success in anything you want to do. The first is your values. That's who you really are. That's living with your idea of integrity. The next is your work ethic. And the third would be your relationship skills. If you can live by your values, if you can work hard and build positive relationships, you'll find success in absolutely everything you do. I don't care what it is, however you define success. If it's career opportunities, if you're living by your values, working hard, and developing relationships, you'll be successful in that area of your life. If it's making money, if that's part of success to you, live by your values, work hard, develop strong relationships. If it's a positive home life, same thing. A big part of our existence is relationships. We are relationship animals. We exist in societies and in communities. It's important for us to develop healthy relationships. That's what we're going to spend some time talking about this week. I want you to think about what comprises a healthy relationship to you. That can look different to different people, but what is a healthy relationship? What are some bottom line things that always exist in healthy relationships? Different types of relationships. Could be friendships, could be your teammates, could be coworkers, could be your romantic relationships. What are some things that always exist in healthy relationships? Something that can help us identify those characteristics, those bottom lines for a healthy relationship is to look at examples. I want you to identify some healthy relationships. I want you to identify some aspects of relationships that you've seen that you value. We're going to start in class. We're going to look at a couple different examples from like movies, TVs, or talk about some different things that maybe aren't even in personal relationships. But I like Westerns a lot. Old West movies, and I often like the relationships that are displayed in those Western movies, kind of the simple, unspoken, but they're there to support each other. And one I always think of is the movie Tombstone. If you've never seen the movie Tombstone, it's a great movie, and it talks about Wyatt Earp, the legendary lawman, his family, and his friend Doc Holliday. And it specifically focuses on when they're in Tombstone, the town Tombstone, and there's the famous shootout at the OK Corral. In the story, these bad guys come after Wyatt Earp's family, and then Wyatt Earp decides he's going to go after all these guys. And his friend, Doc Holliday, joins him, and Doc Holliday's health is really in a bad state. He shouldn't be out doing all these things. And there's this cool scene in the movie that I really liked where Doc Holliday is coughing and he's weak. He's really fading health-wise. And one of the other guys who's with them says, "Doc, why are you doing all this?" And Doc Holliday says, "Because Wyatt Earp is my friend." And this other guy says, "Well, I've got lots of friends." And Doc Holliday says, "Well, I don't." And that was something that's like, man, I really like that, where it's like, that to me is something I really, really value in a relationship, is that no matter what, I'm going to back you up. If you need help, the cavalry's coming, I'm by your side no matter what. Doesn't need to be a big spoken thing, but I've got your back. That carries a lot of weight with me. So that sort of thing I really like. So I want you to think of some examples like that. You're like, man, that's something that really hits with me. Like, that's the type of relationship I like to have with my friends or whatever. Even in a romantic relationship or whatever. That's what I really look for. That's a healthy relationship to me. And I also want you to think about how you can contribute to healthy relationships. What are things that you can do to help build positive relationships around you. Sometimes I see that where people maybe struggle to maintain positive relationships. And I'll have it with students or athletes who say something, having a conflict with this person, this person, this person. And it's a tough thing to discuss sometimes, because if we're always in conflict with a bunch of different people and a bunch of different relationships in our life, we have to look at the common denominator. And sometimes that's us. That means, okay, there's something that's causing me to have conflict in all these different relationships. And that might be something I have to adjust. So I want you to think about something you can do to help build positive relationships and how you can advocate for yourself. We're going to talk about that too, advocating for ourselves in relationships that might be unsafe or unhealthy. On the flip side of looking at a healthy relationship, what are some things that create unhealthy relationships? What are some common characteristics of unhealthy relationships? And how can we avoid those things and advocate for ourselves in those challenging relationships? It's a complex idea, relationship skills, relationship building. We're going to talk about this for the next several weeks. Let's focus on the positive relationships we have, continue to build those, and work to advocate for ourselves in difficult or challenging relationships. Much love.